We're excited to say we completely overhauled Kitbuilder, and we're here to show you how the new version 2.0 works. You can get to it from the homepage banner here, or the build block here, or you can simply go up to the navigation bar under drums and click Kitbuilder at any time. So here we are at the homepage. I recommend your first time through you click these question marks up here in the upper right corner. They're here to guide you along and kind of help you through each step. And you'll see in this step we're choosing an archetype kit, which is basically a template kit. And don't worry if it's not the exact kit you're looking for. Later on you'll be able to customize in step 3, and you can actually skip to that right now, but I recommend that we just start at the beginning here on step 1 and work our way through. So over on the right here in the details column, you can see various details for the kit you're building, such as the finish and hardware type, drum sizes, cymbals, hardware, and even sounds and shell configurations. Don't worry, we're going through it quick here. We'll revisit that in later steps. You can also click this button to change the view from front to back on your kit. You can do that, of course, for any archetype kit that you have there. And so I'm going to go ahead and choose this Fusion 7-piece kit as my kind of base model here and click Next. You could click Step 2 up here, or you can click Next. They'll both take you to the same spot. So now it's time to choose the colors. Once again, I suggest clicking the Help, and you see Choose Shell and Hardware Finish below, and click Next to Customize. You can change the view from front to back. And you can see exotic, finish ply, hard satin, lacquer, satin specialty, lacquer specialty. I'm going to go ahead and choose an exotic here. And once you drill down, you can always get back to the top level categories by clicking that finish button or hardware button if necessary. So once again in exotics, going to go through here and let me find one. Macassar ebony looks good. Let's choose that. And then it's time to choose the hardware. So this is the drum hardware, the lugs and hoops on your kit. It by default is in chrome. You can see 24 karat gold, black chrome, black nickel. Ooh, that looks nice. And satin chrome. I think I'm going to go with the black nickel here. That looks nice with the dark wood. And now it's time to go to the next step. So I could click Next, I could click Step 3. So here we are at Step 3, Customize. This is where you can kind of tailor make your kit to your exact specifications. You can also choose an artist kit, one of our DW artists, and you can also just break it down and start from scratch. You can always go back to Step 2 or any other step if you need to change something. On the left here is a toolbar that allows you to manipulate each piece, and on the right we have the details list, which you can modify what drums you have, and cymbals and hardware as well, and you can choose those cymbals, hardware, and templates from down here below. Here you can see the different DW artist kits we have. It's a great way to get a start on your setup, and you can modify it from there to fit your specific needs. And I'm just going to go back here to my kit and start from here. You can click on any drum and that allows you to modify it. You can see here with the slider I can rotate it, and you can also move the drums and cymbals up or down in layers. So you can see this cymbal goes over the top of the other one or below it. Same thing with toms. You also notice pedals aren't attached to hi-hats, so you can move those around. It just made more sense for it to be that way for remote pedals and such. You can also rotate the drums. I like to rotate them so that the heads are kind of pointed towards the throne. You can undo, go back a step if you make a change that you didn't mean to do or didn't like the effects of. You can also delete a drum. So let's say you select a tom here. I'll just click this X and that deletes the drum. And if you accidentally add a drum that you didn't mean to add, don't worry, just click the X and there it goes. And when any drum is selected, you can also come down here to the reset button and completely wipe out the whole kit and just build from scratch. Do be careful because there is no undo for this. So if you do make this change, you've erased your kit and you have to start from scratch. Here, I'll click on the bass drum and I'm going to delete that because I'd like to add a different size bass drum, and I'm also going to delete these toms here because I have some different toms in mind for my kit. Just simply click on them and then click the delete button, and there they go. Now I click on bass drums and here's all the different diameters of bass drums. I'm going to choose a 24 here, and I like nice shallow bass drums, more traditional. So I'm going to choose this 14 by 24 and move it right into place there, right in front of the pedal. That looks about right. And then I'm going to go ahead and choose some toms. Click on the drums button again, then toms, 13-inch diameter, and I'm looking for a 9 by 13. I'll drag that into place. And I notice that this cymbal is kind of right on top of this drum too, so I'm going to go ahead and move that over to the side just simply by clicking and dragging it. And now for some floor toms, let's see. I'm going to find a 16 here. We go through the diameters, 16-inch, and I'd like a 16 by 16. Drag that into place. And rotate it so the head is aimed at the throne, how I like it. And then choose my last floor tom, which is going to be an 16 by 18, I should say. Drag that into place and rotate it. That rotation looks pretty good, but now this floor tom is not quite matching, so I'm going to be extra picky here and just make those match. That's the great thing about this new Kitbuilder is you can really get down to details here on how your setup looks. So now it's time to choose hardware. You can see single pedals, double pedals, thrones, hi-hat stands, really anything you need. And if you click a category, and go through and see all the pedals we offer. We also included cymbals. Of course, DW doesn't make or sell cymbals, but we wanted to include these in Kitbuilder 2.0 so that you would have kind of a reference point and just a way to make your kit look as realistic as possible and really suit your setup. I'm actually going to add a 10-inch hi-hat here for effects. Put that over the top of my floor toms. And one last cymbal here, I'll add a small splash. 8-inch sounds good. And I'm going to put that kind of over my hi-hat. Now that cymbal, I want this to be on top of that crash, so I just go up here and move it a level up. And that's how I like it. So now I need to get the proper hardware so that I can mount this splash. I'm looking for the DW SM909 adjustable cymbal stacker. And so here in factory accessories, here's the angle adjustable stacker. And that's what I'll be using. Put that on top of my crash and put the splash on that. And it'll just sit right there like that. Then of course I need a hi-hat stand for this effects hat. So I'll click here on hi-hats and scroll through till I find my remote hi-hat. And there's the 9550 and the 9502. I'll do the 9502. So it can reach all the way around the kit. Oh. So you may click and drag the wrong item sometime, but you can always hit undo and just go grab the right one. Move the throne back in place here. And then, you know, I think instead of a single pedal, I'd like a 9000 double pedal to go with this setup. I'm going to add that. And then, of course, I don't really need the single pedal on the kit anymore. So we'll move this down so I can click on the single pedal and delete that. And then put my double pedal in place. Oh. So yeah, it can be tricky to grab the right drum or piece of hardware, but if at first you don't succeed, try again. So here we go, we moved it into place. And yeah, that looks good. That's about it. Although, I think maybe, a la Dave Grohl, I'll throw in a gong drum here just for fun. A 21-inch sounds good. The 23 might be a little too big for me. And put that over here to the left. And go ahead and rotate that as well. That's good. And we're set. That's a pretty dreamy kit right there. So you could add rada toms and even more stuff, more cymbals, but this looks good for me. So I could click next here. I could also just click on step 4 and that would take me to the same place. By the way, here on the right in the details column, you can see a detailed list of all the hardware, cymbals, drums, everything that you have in your kit. And you can even edit it from here. So I'm kind of looking down here and I can see there's a single tom stand. Well, I don't really need the single tom stand or this double tom stand. So I'm going to go ahead and click edit here and delete those. So you can change the quantity by clicking in the quantity box and simply typing in a number, or click the X here just to delete it. So I don't need the single tom stand. I prefer to put my rack tom in a snare basket. So I'm going to go find the snare stands and go to 9000, and there's the 9300. I'll add that to my kit. And you're not going to see that on the stage, but you do see it here in the hardware list in details. And when you send this off to get a quote later, it'll be included in there. So like I said, I don't really need anything for the floor toms, and that just about does it. So I'm going to click next. So here we are in step 4, sound. Again, looking at help. This is where you select the different drums and hear samples of how they sound, and you can also change the shell type or SSC configuration. So if you wanted VLX or VLT or jazz or classics, this is where you would define that. So you just click on a drum and then click on the play button there, and you can hear a sample of what that drum sounds like. And then you can even go in and compare two different types of sounds. So let's say I wanted to hear the difference between a standard maple and VLT. You can do that here. That's what the maple sounds like. The VLT, you can choose from these different options here to compare. I want to hear the VLT. And yeah, I like that. So I'm going to go ahead and switch it. And that swaps it out. Now that 9x13 is a VLT. You can see down here, this is where you can also choose the different shells. If you click on a drum and then click on one of these different shell types, that will also change the drum. So I'll click on my 16-inch floor tom here, listen to what it currently sounds like. And let's see, that might sound good as an X. We'll drop it down even a little further in tone. And I'm going to go ahead and just switch that because that's what I'm looking for. And then again for the 18-inch floor tom, going to do a similar thing, but use SSC to drop the fundamental pitch of that drum as low as possible down to VLX and swap those out. So now I have some nice intervals going here from my rack tom to my floor toms, and the bass drum, I don't think I want to go quite all the way down to VLX here, but X would be nice. I'm going to go ahead and choose that, switch them, and close this. So now I've dialed in the SSC on my collector's kit, and you can see here on the details window, it defines those. And then clicking on the snare here, I'm going to check out my options for that. Steel sounds interesting, so let's hear that. Yeah, I like that. So I'm going to go ahead and switch that. So now I got my steel snare and my custom SSC kit, and it's time to go to the last step. So enter a name for your kit. It can be anything you like. And click Save. And here we are at the overview page. You see the overhead view of your drum kit with your custom setup. You can go back in and edit your kit. You can print it. You can download it in PDF form, or you can share it on Facebook and Twitter. And that basically provides a link to your friends so that they can come back and see this page. You can also copy and paste this URL into an email or any browser, and that will also take you back to this page. You can see the front and back views of that original archetype kit you chose. You can build a new kit from scratch, or even get a quote from a dealer. Down here you see all the details and specs for your kit, the different sizes, the cymbals, and even hardware. So there's one last feature here, which happens to be my favorite feature. On this page, you can actually click on the individual toms, snare, and bass drum and hear what your kit sounds like. So this concludes our tutorial. We hope you guys really enjoy the new features and enhancements we built into Kitbuilder 2.0, and we really look forward to seeing all your custom DW drum kits.